So this sequence today is primarily about strengthening through the upper back and particularly drawing your attention to activating the muscles that are below the shoulder blade first, right? So often what we're doing when people come into the classroom is getting them out of this mode, right? Because this is how we operate. We're on computers, we're on phones, and everybody already has problems with lifting their shoulders up around the ears. But simply giving the instruction of draw your shoulder blades down your back or squeeze your shoulder blades together isn't really efficient. First of all, it creates tension in the back. And secondly, it's not looking at how can I undo this habit and cultivate more strength down here. So that's what we want to draw our students' attention to. What can activate through here to support that, and what can I do to create more space across the collarbones instead of just repeating shoulders down the back, shoulders down the back. So that's the main emphasis of the class, and I'm going to always talk about how we're layering it, putting it together. And we will at the end move towards a back bend, but I also want you to notice this class doesn't necessarily have to be about back bending, right? We're focusing mostly up here, so you could just leave it at that, depending on the level of student that you're working with, okay? So we'll start as usual, just sitting comfortable cross-legged, and just taking you through a quick body scan. Hands on the knees of the thighs and close your eyes. And first of all, just becoming aware of the floor beneath you. The sensation of being supported in the pelvis and through the legs. Notice the sensation in the soles of the feet. There's a tingling, a vibration that's always there. All we need to do is notice it. Allow the legs to soften. Notice the sit bones as they're touching the floor or a blanket or a block. Just aware of the connection. Do the front and the back of the spine have equal space? And the front and the back of the throat. And swallow deeply to relax in the jaw. Softening behind the eyes. Let the forehead soften. And then turn your awareness to your breath. And just begin to notice the breath that's already there without the need to change it. Just to recognize, I breathe. And then we deepen the breath. Using the next exhale to get that sense of empty. Gently drawing the navel in, emptying all the air out. Inhaling fully up into the ribs, and the chest, and the back. And exhaling long, slow, emptying all the air out. Inhaling fully into the sides, and the collarbones, the shoulder blades. And emptying completely. And just follow that movement of the breath for a few rounds. That sense of receiving the next its space. And then letting go of the next exhale with ease until the lungs are empty. And then when you're ready, we begin our initial exploration in the body. Just notice, where is your attention drawn to first? Maybe it's a movement of the head and the neck, taking it from side to side or around in circles. Or maybe it's a shoulder or a movement of the spine. Or you might notice your body's asking to lay down on the floor. You want to use the floor as a massage tool. Or the legs need to extend. Remember, you can always just pick a starting point and then begin to notice as that body part starts moving and exploring range of motion. What wakes up that's connected to it? How do you find the pathway, the different maps in the body? Noticing the connection of the big toe all the way into the pelvis. Or perhaps it's the right shoulder as it spirals all the way down the back to the left hip. And always remember, there's no wrong way to explore the initial waking up of this body. When we move without giving the body a format or a formula or a structure, the mind gets to stay an observer instead of a predictor. Because the minute we do move into shape, the mind starts to predict based on past experience. Oh, this should feel comfortable, this should feel challenging. I should be more open, or I should be stronger. So we get this list of directives from the mind, but when we let go of structure and let the body tell us what to investigate, then we go, we're practicing. We're already practicing the yoga because it's a practice of awareness, it's a practice of noticing, it's a practice of curiosity. Just keep asking your body what needs to be addressed, what needs to be woken, what needs a bit of nurturing, what body part can I give that sense of gentle massage or nurturing. And of course, when you first start teaching your students how to do this, it needs to be very defined. You do need to guide them through this exploration with more instructions. But once they get the idea, you can take away those instructions. You can say less. So this first part of class already puts us in the parasympathetic nervous system. It already wakes up the myofascial connections. We're already talking to the body as a whole instead of in isolation. And then giving yourself another minute. If there's something that you've been playing with on one side, or if all of a sudden you notice you haven't woken up your feet or your wrists or fingers, give all of that some time, a little energy. And then we will slowly meet up right back where we started. So you take your time. It's still part of the journey. It might take you 2 breaths to get back to sitting upright, or it might take you 20 breaths. A series of movements. And then when you do arrive, let everything slowly settle. Don't fix the body. There's nothing to fix in the body. Can I let the skeleton settle in this position? And hold that process without tension. Nothing's rigid. Can I find that sense that the head, the neck, and the jaw are just effortlessly balanced on the top of the spine? And what does it feel like to breathe now? Great. And then we open our eyes and come into child's pose. So now we're starting the structured part of the warm-up. Take the knees quite wide and reach the arms forward. Have them a little bit wider than the shoulders And allow yourself to push through the heels of the hands and use the finger pads and shifting from right to left. So we get a nice active snaking through the spine. And the hips shift from side to side. And the head rolls from side to side. And then walking your hands around to the right and extending a little bit further with the left arm. And you're still negotiating. So there's that still working through the spine, or perhaps it's a lift and lower of the left armpit, if that makes sense. So there's still a waving action going through the left side of the body. And check in with things like the neck and the jaw. Is there still freedom there for the neck and the jaw to be mobile, to receive the breath? And then walking the hands around to the other side. And then same thing, reaching a little bit further with the right arm. And get that action of still negotiating, still looking for that space. What if there was a little nook or cranny behind the shoulder blade? How would I get into that? And it's a smaller movement. It's a smaller movement that we can negotiate into. And then walking the hands back around to the center. Walk the hands all the way back to the knees now, waving up and down through the spine, rolling up one vertebrae at a time. When the head comes upright, lift the chest, make space for the front of the body as you fold all the way back down. And then use the hands on the thighs to help you roll up, one vertebrae at a time, coming all the way upright. Lift the chest, and then fold it all the way back down. And 2 more times like this. We're just waking up the front and the back of the spine. We're getting one side active while the other side lengthens, and then we reverse. And the next time you're all the way upright without rushing, just pause upright. Interlace the fingers behind the back. Wrap the hands around the waist and squeeze the elbows towards each other. That's it. Especially the right elbow drawing in. And then drop your right ear towards your right shoulder. So this is getting a little bit more into the left side of the neck. And just start tilting the chin a little forward and back. It's like you're searching for something in the connection of the left jaw or the base of the skull on the left side down through the neck into the collarbone. It's like you're being a private detective sent in there to discover where there might be tension, where there might be resistance. And can I negotiate that? I don't want to forcefully remove it. I just want to negotiate some space there. And then bring the head all the way upright. And change sides. Wrap it around to the left. Drop the left ear to the left shoulder. And then start investigating through the right side. Sometimes just a movement of the jaw can allow us to access a little bit more. All the way down to the collarbone. Just noticing, just noticing. And then bring the head all the way upright. Release the hands. Just take a moment. The thighs. Close the eyes again. And breathe. Keep tuning inwards towards the space around the spine. And then gently open the eyes and we come to all fours.